because I have a mentoring and coaching course, and I teach hypnotists around the world how to work with athletes, and they always like to see how I do a team talk. So right now I am working with hypnotists from Singapore and Australia and England, and they're from all over the place. And they always ask when I do these team talks if I would record it for them so they can see what I do. So, all right. Thank you guys for being here. My name is Caryn Bird, and I am a hypnotist. I live in Burlington, Wisconsin, and I had an office in Burlington for many years as a hypnotist, and now I see clients only virtually. And the reason is because I have clients from all over the world and all over the nation, and most of them can't come to my office in Burlington, Wisconsin anyways. So I ended up just going online because I see them all from online. In fact, I just finished my niche. The clients that I work with most are athletes. I just finished working with a wrestler that made it to the Olympics. He won the Olympic trials. So that was like really exciting to see. I work with athletes, with boxers and football players and lacrosse players and swimmers and any kind of athlete you can think of. And we talk about mental training, we talk about confidence, and we talk about mental toughness. So I'm going to talk about that with you guys as we move along. I also see people for everything else as a hypnotist. I see people for weight loss and smoking and anxiety and depression and fear and all kinds of other things. So anything that you would go see a therapist for, hypnotist can work with you also. And the great thing about hypnosis is you can make changes very quickly in your mind. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it in a minute. But first I want to ask about you guys and what you have going on here. So does anyone know what mental toughness is? Any of you guys, anyone can tell me what mental toughness is? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, you just know what it is, Ron? Yeah. Yep, exactly. Very good. Yeah, the mental toughness is. It's a lot of self-talk, right? It's how mentally strong you are. Yeah, anyone else? What? It's that, right? It's how strong you are mentally. It's what you have going on in your mind. So we're going to talk about how what you have going on in your brain actually changes the way that your body moves and the way that you play. And it's also resilient. So do you guys, have you had any games lately? Yeah. Okay. Do you typically win your games, lose your games, 50-50? Okay. When you lose your game, how does it feel? Wow, right? It doesn't feel so good. When you win your game, how does it feel? Feels really good, right? And so mental toughness is being able to take the last game that you played and let it go and be resilient and go into the next game playing even harder. Because athletes that aren't mentally tough, they let the bad games, they let the bad plays, they let the missing the goals affect the way they play. And when you're mentally tough, that doesn't affect you. You let it go. So as a hypnotist, I do things like I teach you how to get into a control room of your mind and switch a switch back on to be mentally tough, to let go of the last time that you tripped or you didn't make the goal or whatever it was that you were frustrated about. Because what we know is that the conscious mind, your mind right now, it has a tendency to play negative thoughts, to think negative things. The last time you didn't do so well, the last time you didn't play so well. And so we do that as human beings in our life all the time. And when we're mentally tough, we can actually switch those thoughts to more thoughts of belief and confidence as opposed to the self-doubt. And that's mental toughness. All right. We also know, just like you said, is that athletes and games and the way you play is actually 10% physical and 90% mental. So it's how you see yourself playing and what you believe in how you play is really determines the way that you play. So there's 5 mental tools that we work with athletes on, and I'm going to describe a couple of them for you, and then I'm going to let you guys actually relax and feel what it feels like to do a semi-hypnosis is what we'll say, and just a relaxation. So the 5 mental tools are setting goals. If you don't set goals, you won't reach goals. How do you talk to yourself? The thought that you say to yourself. So could you give me an example of something they might say to themselves that is probably not something that a really great lacrosse player would say, or maybe like an Olympian would say? What is something that you might say to yourself that they wouldn't say? Any have any examples? Yeah. There you go. Exactly. Yeah. Anyone else? Maybe something like, I don't want to go to practice today. What is wrong with me? Anyone say that? Right? So a really great lacrosse player or athlete wouldn't say that to themselves, but yet we have a tendency to do it. So they have learned that mental toughness. So we have in our mind, if you think of your mind like a cup, and your cup can only hold so much in it, right? And our mind is the same thing like that. So your mind can only hold negative thoughts. What is wrong with me? That was so stupid. I don't want to go to practice. Or it can hold things like, I'm amazing. I got this. We can go play. I let it go. I'm a strong player. I'm the best on the team. And so it's one or the other. But just know that whatever's in that cup in your mind, it changes the way you play. It really does. So remember that when you're having those thoughts, what we call those, and I like to call those, is an inner mean girl or inner mean guy thought. So that thought that is not nice, that says things to you, and we all have inner mean girls and inner mean guys, said things to us that other people that loved us or our parents would never say to us. Things like even in the morning, like, what's wrong with my hair today? Oh, my nose is so ugly. What is, that kind of thing. Nobody likes me. That inner mean girl that likes to chatter and make lots of noise. And so when you do hypnosis, you actually can take that chatter, that inner mean girl or inner mean guy, and relax it and work with the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the one that's constantly thinking. So women and girls have about 60,000 thoughts a day. Men have about half that many. So believe it or not, girls' minds are always chattering, right? We always, we make a joke of it because hypnosis is like being in a nothing box. You're not thinking of anything. And men are going nothing boxes often. Like they're really good. Have you ever noticed, like women, have you ever noticed where you'll say to a man, like, what are you thinking about? And they say, nothing. And then as women, we're like, no, you have to be thinking about something. You can't be thinking about nothing. And they're like, no, really, I was thinking nothing. They have these nothing boxes in their brain, which is a beautiful place to be, really. But that's the same place as hypnosis, where there's nothing going on in there. But as girls and women, there's always something going on in there. So when we can relax that and learn how to let that go, we can then play better because we're not in our head so much with inner mean girl doing lots of chatter. So does anyone know what it means to be in the zone? When you play in the zone? No? Yeah, go ahead. Focus. Yeah, exactly. What else? What does it locked in? Is that what you said? Yeah. Yeah. What does it feel like when you're in the zone? Does anyone know? Yeah. Very good. Yeah. More confident. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So all the little things are out, right? So the hyper focus on what you're doing. Nothing else matters at the time. So I would want you guys to think about the last time that you played really, really well. So get that in your mind for just a minute. The last time that you played the game really well and you walked off the field and you were like, yeah, that was awesome. I rocked it. Can you guys all think about that? So that's being in the zone. You were in a zone state. It's actually an emotional state, the peak emotional state. And with mental training and with hypnosis, we can take that peak emotional state. Because when I asked you guys that and you thought about that play, did you see words flashing across the screen or did you see yourself in that moment? You saw yourself there, didn't you? Yeah, exactly. And so that's what our brain does, is we're always creating pictures in our mind and our subconscious mind is always working. So you guys are probably all too young to drive, right? None of you are 16. Okay, close. Parent, and you guys will get that too with the parents. So have you ever noticed when you are, you're driving somewhere and you're thinking about everything that's on your mind and you forgot to feed the dog and everything you need to do, and you get to your destination and you think to yourself, I don't even remember driving here. I was so busy, like somewhere else in my head. So that's your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind does the driving in your life. That's the one that got you to your place. That did the driving, and you didn't realize it was working in the background. And you girls can think of it as, have you ever noticed where when you're driving somewhere, maybe to school or practice, and mom or dad is so busy talking to you and you're talking to mom and dad, and you think to yourself, were they even really driving? Like, how do they drive and not pay attention to driving because they're so busy talking, right? Because we have actually those two different minds. We have the conscious mind that's busy thinking all the time, and then we have the subconscious mind that does the driving. And the subconscious mind is actually what does the driving when you're in the zone. It's that state when you're not really thinking about it, but you're playing with instinct because your body knows how to do it already. Because you guys will probably spend hundreds of hours training. You know the technique. You know how to play the crosse. Yet if you're too busy in this mind, in your head, you're not playing the way you know you can play. And so when I see athletes, it's typically because the parents or even them themselves know that they're a better player than the way that they're playing during games because they're so busy in here. Okay? So the mental training is getting to a space of allowing yourself to relax, which I'm going to help you guys do, and then creating what it looks like when you play your perfect game. Because most of us don't do that in our life. We don't like sit back and take a deep breath and see what a perfect day looks like. We're just so busy going through an automatic pilot, we don't typically do that. So hypnosis is a state of focus and concentration where you look like you're sleeping. Your conscious mind, the inner mean girl, the talker, is sleeping, and the subconscious mind is listening. When we do that, we can reprogram the pathways in our brain. Because what happens is like, let's say you guys had a bad game. It creates a pathway, and then you have another bad game, and you remember again and again and again that you're not good, and you start to think you're not good, and then that's the way that you play. So with hypnosis, we can stop that thought, we can put a roadblock in it, and then we can create a new pathway, and a highway, and a super highway, okay? Because the thoughts that we have are really super important. In fact, we can only have one thought at a time. We can either think, hey, I'm amazing, or hey, that really sucks. You cannot have the same thought at the same time. You cannot think right now, I'm cold and I'm hot. It doesn't work. And so you have a choice which thought you want to choose. It's just that a lot of people don't know them. Okay? So I need to have you guys, well, first of all, I'm going to make sure I give you guys a spoon when we're done here, okay? I'm not going to give it to you yet. But these spoons are super cool, and it's very similar to the thoughts in your mind. So thoughts change the way we play. Thoughts change everything in our life. And these spoons are super cool because they're blue. And you can imagine this as a thought, and you can change it just like you can change your thoughts, and you can change the way you play the game in whatever sport it is by simply changing your thought. So you can have, I'm going to teach you guys thought stopping in just a minute. But these are blue when they're cold, and when they're warm, just like that, they turn white. So they're really cool. You guys can have one of these when we're done, okay? And that reminds you, I want you to keep that when you think to yourself, this is not cool, I'm not good, I stink, that was stupid, any of those thoughts, that's exactly the way you're going to play. But you can change the thought as quickly as you can change the color of that spoon and change the way you play the game. Like, you truly can do it. I see it happen all the time. All right? The one thing I want to do with you guys before I talk about thought stopping, I'm going to teach you a really cool technique. When you're frustrated with yourself and you don't do well, it's called the switch technique. I'm going to teach that to you guys. But before I do that, I want you to do something that I do with every one of my clients, and it's called writing a contract. So I'm going to have you all take a card and a pen, all right? You guys all have a card and a pen? I'll pick the one. All right, so on the back, so that's just my business card if you guys have any questions, but on the back of the card, I'm going to have you write a statement. It's an I am statement, okay? And the statement is going to be, I am a, and you're going to fill in the blank. You're going to do blank, 2 blanks, lacrosse player. Okay? So the card's going to say, I am a, and then you're going to do underline, lacrosse player. The pad. You can grab, all of those. Maybe it's just you have to write a little harder. That's it. There's a lot more tons there. Okay, so I am a blank lacrosse player. All right, now, think of a lacrosse player that you've watched. Can you guys think of any lacrosse player that is maybe an Olympian or a pro or that's really great? Okay, who would that be? Okay, I love it. Can you guys think of one? Can any of you guys think of one? Okay. Awesome. All right. So even if you don't know their name, think of a word that would describe this lacrosse player that you want to be too. So the word would be, we call them power words. It would be something like, I'm going to give you guys some examples. Amazing, incredible, unstoppable, unbeatable, fast, phenomenal, lightning, confident, determined, fierce. So think of 2 words that you would describe a really great lacrosse player that you want. I am a blank blank, and fill those 2 blanks in lacrosse player. All right. And I'm going to have you guys share them. So 2 words. So you want me to repeat those examples again, or you guys got it? Sure. Unstoppable, undeniable, phenomenal, incredible, fierce, determined, confident, aggressive, fat, amazing, motivated. All right. We're going to start over here. Can you tell me what you chose? And say the whole sentence. I am a blank blank lacrosse player. So your 2 words lacrosse player. Love it. All right. Perfect. Confident what? Supportive? Okay, let's do something else, and only because I love the word supportive. I am a supporter myself, and it means that we love to help other people. But let's choose one for you. So a confident what? Fast. I love it. Confident bad. Lacrosse player. All right. Love it. Okay. Yep. Love it. I love it. All right, cool. All right, so here's what you girls get to do. That's your first mental training tip. Write that on a Post-it note and put it in your mirror, on your mirror. And every time you look in the mirror, look into your own eyes and tell yourself who you are. It's going to change your game, I promise you. Because it's not very often that athletes walk around saying to themselves, I'm a great athlete. We just don't do it. But this is going to change the way you play. And this is a statement that you can use when inner ego starts to creep in and tells you you're not good enough, or you didn't play well, or you stink. You can remind yourself who you are. So an example that I love is straight wear crown, like you're a queen, and remind yourself who you are. And you are whatever your statement you wrote, okay? So that first of all, that's your contract. Put on your mirror. Say it every time you look in the mirror. The second thing I want to teach you is thought stopping. And this is very important because we all mess up, right? We all have games where we don't play so well. We don't feel so well. Maybe we lost a game during a tournament, but we have another game coming up. If you can't let it go, if you can't be mentally tough and resilient, it's going to affect the next game that you play. And if you really want to win, thought stopping is super important. So the first thing with thought stopping is paying attention to what's going on in your head. Paying attention if your thought is negative, self-doubt. A lot of times when we get closer to bigger tournaments, we start to have more self-doubt creep in. So pay attention if you start having that, like you don't believe in yourself, you're saying negative things to yourself. What you can do, when you see that happening, you can literally change your thought by taking a deep breath, imagining a stop sign in your brain, and as you exhale, say to yourself, relax, I've got this. Okay, it's that simple. You can change from one thought to the other by simply stopping it, seeing a stop signs, exhaling and saying, relax, I've got this. I can do this, right? I can do anything. The other thing that you can do is to imagine that you go into a control room in your mind, and I'll do this with you guys actually in a minute with, I'm going to do a quick relaxation, flat hypnosis with you. Go into the control room of your mind and imagine that there's switch of levers and dials in there. And there's a really big switch and it's light side and it's blinking red, but it's been turned off. And it got turned off when you started talking to yourself about how you're not so good, about how when you lost your game. It's all emotions, right? So when we have a negative emotion, it turns our switch off. It feels crappy. You guys all know what it feels like to feel crappy or to think you didn't do well or to lose a game. That's when that switch gets turned off. So you go in your mind, you see the switch, You grab it with 2 hands, you turn it back on, and you turn back on your mental toughness and your belief and your confidence in yourself. And you go back out there and you play the way you know how to play. You play as if you are what was your IMA? Fast, aggressive lacrosse player, right? So you're switching that switch back on. These tools are like super helpful, and they really help you a lot. So when I work with athletes in my office, sometimes an athlete will come in because they've had an injury and they're worried about it hurting again or injuring again, so they're not playing as well. Sometimes they come in because they practice better than they play a game. Sometimes they come in because they get so nervous they don't play well, but yet they know they're really good players and they're not playing well anymore. Sometimes they come in because they used to love the sport and they don't love the sport anymore because they're not playing as good as they used to. Or they just want to be more confident because they know that if they were more confident, they would play better, they would be more aggressive. So there's lots of reasons that an athlete will come in, and what we'll do is we'll do statements similar to what you guys just did, but we'll do like even more deeper ones around like, what is it that you could do that would make you better? If I were to ask you on a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being super confident or thinking you're a really great player, and 1 not really believing in yourself and thinking you're not so good, where would you put yourself on that scale from 1 to 5? Okay. Good. All right. So if you're anywhere other than a 5, that can be changed. And if that changes, you actually will be a much better player. And you know how you do that is by changing what's going on in your mind. What are you thinking about the way you play? Because that changes the way you play. So when I ask that question, think about what number you put yourself at. And then think to yourself, like, what is in between being a 3 and a 5, or a 2 and a 5, or a 4 and a 5? So what is stopping me from being 5 confident, from really believing in myself? It's all in here, right? Because what goes on in here, the body does. It's instinctual. It's called the robot theory. Whatever our mind believes our body will do. Like, we can heal ourselves by changing what's going on in our brain. We can get emotions by changing what's going on in our brain. Like, our mind is so powerful. It changes lives. So it can change the way that you play the game too. It's just a matter of utilizing it and using it. Okay? So, you guys all ready to do a little relaxation? Okay. All right. Can you just get a little closer, just because I don't want to have to hop super loud. All right. And I think what I'm going to do with you guys, yeah, it's chill. You probably got your funnel warmed up, right? Okay. Thank you. All right. All right. I'm not going to do this long, but typically I'll do like a little visualization so you guys can see your perfect game. So when is the last time that you guys won a game? Okay. And how much did you win by? Okay. So it was a good game. And you fought really good at the end. Okay. Would you say possibly it was one of your best games? Yeah? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to get you guys relaxed, and I'm going to have you imagine what your perfect game would look like. All right? Just so you know, your mind works like 100 times faster than your mouth. So if I were to say, visualize your perfect game, you could see yourself stretching and warming up and then playing your game in like seconds flat. Whereas if I asked you to tell me about your perfect game, it would take you a lot longer. So just know you can do that really quickly. The subconscious works very, very quickly. But one of the mental tools that I teach all of my athletes that's super powerful is once a day, just close your eyes and see yourself playing your perfect game. See yourself playing the way you want to play. Because what's going to happen is your body's going to do it. Right now, I would almost bet you're closing your eyes, or you're not closing your eyes, but I would almost bet that if I were to ask you, what does your game look like, you would probably play the last thing you didn't do so well in your brain. That's your blueprint right now. Because that's what we do as human beings. So mental training is like physical training. The more you work your mind, the more your body responds. And it's just like the more you physically practice, the better you get. The more you mentally practice, the better you get. So once a day, close your eyes and see yourself playing your perfect game, okay? And I'm going to do that with you guys real quick. So if you want, you can lay down and relax. Because it can be a few minutes. If you want to sit up, that's okay too, whatever you're most comfortable with. And just know that you guys, you can do this, however you want. So some people get relaxed so quickly, and some people are fidgety. That's totally okay. You're in charge of the day. So I'm just going to do a little relaxation, because what happens and what we know is that when your body is relaxed, your mind is relaxed. So just go ahead and you guys can start with closing your eyes and just take a deep breath. And exhale and release any tension, any tightness in your body. And take another deep breath. And exhale. And feel the weight of your body, whether you're sitting or lying on the ground. And take one more deep breath and exhale. And release and let your body become loose and limp like a rag doll. Or a cooked spaghetti noodles. Just let go. Notice if there's any thoughts swirling in your mind. Allow the thoughts to slow down. And then dissolve down through your body into the earth. And just let go. So feel yourself in your body now. Feel the cool breeze on your skin. Notice you can feel the shoes on your feet. You probably hadn't noticed it before. And just take a moment and listen to the sounds around you. And just relax. When we relax our body, we can relax our mind. When we relax our mind, we relax our body. So just imagine there's a golden light in the top of your head. And allow that golden light to move down through your body, relaxing your forehead and your face and your feet. And then let that warm golden light relax your mouth and feel a space between your teeth when you let go. And the more you let go, the more you quiet your mind, the more you're open. Get a sit back sit. So relax your shoulders now. Let them sink into your body. Sink into the area. Let your body be loose and limp. Every muscle, every cell of it, fiber, let it go. And as you relax deeper, let that golden light move down and relax every cell, every muscle, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Just shrink your consciousness small enough. Travel through the corridors of your body into a control room in your mind. As you approach the control room, you see a big wooden ornate carved door with a brass handle. And you notice there's a key in your hand. Feel the key to your mind, and only you have it. So put the key in that keyhole and unlock the door. And open the door to your mind. And when you open the door to your mind, you notice that there's knobs and levers and dials. And there's a switch. And it's blinking red. It's calling your attention. It's like that. So walk over to that and notice that above it is labeled mental toughness or confidence resilient. It's been switched on. At some point in your life, you decided you weren't good enough. You decided you didn't play well. You decided you weren't the best on the team. So reach out with both hands and turn that switch back on. And turn on your mental toughness. And you notice there's one more dial in this room. It's got numbers on it from 1 to 5. It's labeled confidence. And whatever number you chose earlier, it's stuck there. But I want you to take that dial in your mind, and I want you to move it up to a 5. Slowly and easily, as your mind and body adjust to the perfect working level, dial of that confidence. When you're ready now, you can leave this room. Make sure you lock the door for next time, for safekeeping. You can come back to this room anytime and increase your confidence. And every time you do, notice how much better you play. Notice how much better your team is. So now you've dialed up the confidence. I want you to imagine you are starting your next game or tournament. You're warming up and getting ready. It's a beautiful day. You know that today is the day you're ready to go. And as the game starts, in your minds, for the next few moments, see yourself playing with aggression, determination, and confidence. Let your game play out from start to finish, making the goal, high-fiving,
away from
Playing together as a team. Passing notice the score
the way.
and notice the victor. What it feels like when you knew that you knew. When you played your perfect game. And now, in your mind's eye, say that I am a 2 words lacrosse player.
What?
One more time. I am a 2 word lacrosse player. Your body achieves what your mind believes, and your mind believes you're a winner. Your mind believes you're a champion. So from this moment forward, every time you see the color green, whether it be a blade of grass, green's free, the side of the building, every time you see the color green, your confidence increases and you believe in yourself more and more. Nothing you need to say, think, or do every time you see the color green. And slowly and easily now, I'm going to bring you back to the present moment, back to the here and now. 1, feeling some energy return to your body. 2, feeling some movement, bringing back determination, motivation, and mental toughness for your practice today. 4 and 5, when you're ready, slowly and easily opening your eyes, going back to the room, feeling wide awake and wonderful and everything. All right. That's your dad? Dad, wasn't it? It's kind of just a really great place. It's kind of the same place, same state you're in when you fall asleep at night or your alarm goes off in the morning and you think to yourself, I don't really want to come back. I don't really want to move. But I'm being told to, so I probably will. So that's kind of the state of hypnosis. You guys can do that to yourself once a day. Just close your eyes. Relax your body, relax your mind, and then play your perfect game in your mind and say your statement. It'll make a huge difference in the way you guys play. All right? Any questions? You guys were really great listeners, even though it's kind of chilly. No questions for me? Do you guys, any parents have any questions? No? Okay. All right. Thank you. You guys have a great practice and a great game. And if you want any mental training, give me a call. You can just, my number's on there. All right? Okay. Thank you. You're welcome.